Hi Libra, welcome. It's Meredith. I'm here with your monthly message for April 2020. We are using 3 different tarot decks as we have the last 2 months for your message. Our top row is Lightseer's Tarot. This is all about what's now for Libra. Our second row is Modern Witch Tarot. And this is all about what's in development and becoming for Libra in the month of April 2020. And our bottom row is the happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment quotient as influenced by the 2 top rows, and this is Bonefire Tarot. As always, before we get started, I recommend you watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus videos. If you do not know where your signs are placed for your Moon, Rising, and Venus, then I recommend you go to Cafe Astrology and put in your date, time, and place of birth. I'm not affiliated with the site. It just happens to be one of the better astrological calculators. So consider doing that. Okay, let's get started. Top row, what's now for Libra? Your first card is the Magician. Manifestation is what's now for you. And as I look at the card, look at the infinity symbol sort of embroidered on the hood for this person. You know, it is symbolic of you tapping into the infinite energy, the eternal energy of your own soulful self, and channeling into this realm of consciousness just exactly what it is you would like to see within your world. I feel also, as we look at the Magician, there's a reminder here on this card that when we are in a manifestation process, let's just be whimsical for a moment. We dream of something better, don't we? We're dreaming of better days, better life experiences, richer relationships, and so on. You name it, but you know, how we are of service in our career and so on. And then, you know, we're in the process and we feel like it's a ways out. We feel like there's time involved here, and there can sometimes be a lack mentality between you and the fulfillment that you are actively manifesting and affirming for. So what I feel here is that it has actually started to arrive for you, though we have become quite comfortable in what we know to be now. So we don't necessarily feel comfortable in what we know to be new, even though what we are manifesting and affirming for is showing up. So we will often go into or go more deeply into what we know to be comfortable and familiar while the new is arriving, and discover in the process that this is actually kind of emotionally triggering, we'll say. There are deep emotions that come up as we switch from what's now to what's new in the now. So do consider that in your manifestation. I hear so often from people, they feel like, wow, you know, I've been manifesting this for so long and I just don't see any result. And perhaps you are the resistance between your manifestation and your actual result, because what you know to be comfortable is so comfortable, and what's new is tenuous, and we might even be a little bit suspicious of it, and our egos may get engaged. So that's a lot for one card there at the beginning of your reading, but I do feel that quite strongly here. Yeah, there it is. Look at it. 5 of Swords, the inner debate. What we're negotiating, you know. Here you have this person in the background who's, you know, got his arms wide open. He's like, yeah, I did it, you know, here it is. And there's this person over here going, oh my gosh, is this ever going to change? Oh, right? They're really the same person. This is the discomfort of the new now, and this is the manifestation that we've put on our foundation. You know, we're feeling like the crows are picking us over on it. So do keep that in mind, and as you keep it in mind, bring your heart to it. Have some loving kindness and compassion for yourself in the process, because what you're really doing is allowing yourself to accept what you've been manifesting and affirming for quite a period of life experience, and it is arriving. It's being channeled right out of your soulful consciousness. Coming with that 5, now we have the Page of Cups. Lightseer's Tarot, I really love how this deck is done, and this Page of Cups, I am in study with this one because it's just a little different. Now, the Page of Cups traditionally brings an offer or a message of some kind of love. And here you see this page, and it looks like the wind is just blowing him upward. And is the wind blowing him along in some tumbleweed type of way with the message that it will eventually arrive where it's meant to arrive? There's a lot of question on this card. And typically you do see a fish in the card jumping out of the cup, which indicates our manifestation becoming a reality. So that flows really nicely with the Magician over here, but this card is done so differently. We even have a pig with wings. So there's something about this that makes us feel like, yeah, when pigs fly, that'll actually happen. That's what this dude is saying here on the Five of Swords. When pigs fly, man, then my manifestation will show up. Meanwhile, over here in the background, your soulful self is dancing a jig of happiness because if you can look closely enough without too much shadow, there are two hands making a heart, and there's a little quantum something there between those hands. And I feel that that's the equivalent of the fish you see in traditional tarot on the Page of Cups. So something is being made a reality, and you might be blowing around a bit like a tumbleweed and having the, oh gosh, when pigs fly, this might actually happen. But it is happening, and it's so different, unusual, and slightly uncomfortable, you might be a little bit untrustworthy of that energy. So do consider that, Libra. Next set, two cards. First is Ten of Swords. Well, okay, this is good. It's good flow. You're being blown by the page into the Ten of Swords, which is a card of mastery, reaching fulfillment. So you are coming into some kind of fulfillment within self-mastery, and perhaps it's just this that you're settling over here on that Five of Swords, which is wonderful, Libra, because the master gets up. You know, usually we see the master on the ground, 10 swords pinned in his back, right? But here we have more crows. We have more crows that have been picking you over. So you're doing the work. As uncomfortable as it may be, you are doing it. Wonderful. And then you walk toward a new horizon. And the new horizon is all about what's over here in the Magician card. So it's happening. It's a little uncomfortable as it's happening, and it's uncomfortable in the thought realm, which is then triggering the feeling emotional realm, and we're in that when pigs fly energy because of that. And what you need is more expansive compassion, love, and kindness, which I do understand in these Five of Swords, Ten of Swords moments. Those are energies that they're on offer to us every moment. It's the bridge between what we're thinking and as a result feeling, and then getting ourselves into kindness and compassion again and doing the inner healing work. That is where some of the hardest journey happens. So I do encourage you to do it one step at a time. And coming with the Ten of Swords, and this is really beautiful because it shows, Libra, that you do it. You get up, and not only do you get up, you charge forward dynamically and without hesitation, which is the message of the Chariot. That's strong Cancer energy right there, a water sign, also water energy, emotion, and intuition all over the Page of Cups. And this is where you're going to find your greatest joy, happiness, and satisfaction, is tapping into the heart and soul of you and settling your Five and your Ten of Swords so that you can move forward dynamically. I do understand, though, that you may feel at this time like you do not know what's on that horizon, but you're going to charge for it anyway, because you know deep in your heart and soul that what you've been manifesting and affirming for is so important to you. Let's just say it's beloved relationship, Libra, and in beloved relationship you may feel like, gosh, when pigs fly, that person's actually going to show up, because I've been manifesting and affirming for this for so long, and blah blah blah, you know the story. And it's actually on your horizon, but you can't see it. And in fact, all evidence says that it isn't there. But you're still walking in that direction. And I encourage you to continue walking in that direction, because you are a master. And you are in conversation, connection with your soulful essence and the divine all that is. And this is what you are bringing to life, Magician. Next row is all about what is in development, what is becoming for you in the month of April. Your first is, here's another 10, the 10 of Wands. This is the Modern Witch Tarot, as I mentioned earlier. 10 of Wands. That's exactly what that feels like. Whatever the scenario is, if it's beloved relationship, if it's career, how you are of service, if it's parenthood, if it's your family and your friend connections as well, and you just feel like you've been pushing these wands uphill, do remember that each of these wands represents the Ace of Wands. So that's the Ace of Wands to the power of 10. Like the 10 of Swords is the Ace of Swords to the power of 10. That's brilliant clarity, everlasting strength. And you're garnering your gains there so you can take a Chariot type move in your life. It's happening. But you're doing all the heavy lifting right now, which is making you feel as if in that 5 of Swords, all this stuff is so far off on the horizon that you can't even see it. I know that's a challenge. What we do have happen here when we see the 10 of Swords is we set down the burden, and that's taking place in year 5, which then creates a freedom of movement here in the Page and also in the Chariot, but it's all fueled by the Magician. So if it's been a while since you've taken a look at, I don't know, your dream journal, your vision board, whatever it is, it might be time for you to take a look at those things and do a review and see just how much of this 10 of Wands you've actually set down. And then coming with it as a clarifier, nice, the divine and cosmic gift of the Ace of Wands. That is a beautiful pairing because when you reach 10 in tarot, you start back over at Ace. Yes, I know there are court cards, but they have a different trajectory and destination when we see them. And here again, we reach 10, we start back at Ace. You know, this is the divine and cosmic gift of pure, raw, loving, fiery passion. So this is you reinvigorating your passion, and you're getting a boost from the universe in that realm, because as you set down what is no longer of service to you or has fulfilled its purpose, you then accommodate what's new in the now. Do you see how that's happening here with the Magician? The Magician is bringing you the Magician, you are bringing your own self out of the cosmos, the Ace of Wands. It just doesn't look and feel the way you thought it would. You know, at this time in the daily readings for a couple of days now, today's April 8th, today and yesterday we got a message about letting go so that you can receive. And I feel that message super strong right here in this reading. So that's what's happening with your 10 of Wands and your 10 of Swords. You're letting go so you can receive, and you're receiving a Chariot's load of what's on the Magician card. Hang in there, Libra. Yeah, next, look at this. 7 of Pentacles. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite cards in the minor suits of tarot. I used to sigh and eye roll over this card like nobody's business because it just felt like hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. And that connects so nicely to the message we had up here with your 5 and your 10. I now embrace the 7 of Pentacles. First and foremost, it's a 7 in tarot. That's heaven touching earth within you. So you are creating heaven on earth for yourself here, Magician. And you have come into some sort of abiding faith. That's what my guides are saying right now. You are having some abiding faith and trusting the process because you can't rush your own harvest. That's really what this card says to us. We have gratitude, we have appreciation for what is on the vine. This is what is developing, what is becoming in this row exactly. And so look at all this bounty here on this card. And while this person has their arms crossed and kind of a wistful look on their face, they are holding the watering can. They are still tending the crop. So you keep tending your affirmation and your manifestation because it is now blossoming on the vine for you. So not ready to pick, not ready to eat, not ready to celebrate, but it's on offer. It's showing up robustly. Chariot. Coming with, yeah, look at this, King of Wands. So this again is mastery. The kings and queens bring us mastery. And in the suit of Wands, it's passion, it's connection, it's communication, it's love and movement. I would say travel, but none of us are really traveling at this time. but we are doing a spiritual journey. There's a lot of spiritual movement going on within. And this can be happening within the spirit of excitement and fun and, you know, real personality. I read a thing on Instagram the other day. You know, laughing is not canceled. Dancing is not canceled. Phone calls and video chats not canceled. You can connect in a variety of ways within your own self, but within your collective of people who mean the most to you. So you can celebrate these aspects of your journey. The highs, the lows, the joys, the sorrows. The king would do that. He would do that expansively and expressively. So, Libra, this isn't a time necessarily for you to go alone within. It's a time for you to share what is coming from within with those that mean the most to you. And you can exchange within feedback for one another and continue to fuel one another's and inspire one another's journeys. And then you have the Seven of Cups, another seven, more heaven touching earth. So this tells us, Libra, that in light of all this here that's happening, you're feeling the chaos and the confusion, which comes back to what I'm talking about in this top row for you, in that you may feel uncomfortable as your manifestation is arriving, and you may not even be seeing what's on the horizon, so you're thinking that it's not happening, which creates the chaos, confusion, engages the emotions, and then, you know, we're down the rabbit hole again, and then we have to pull ourselves back out. This is it on the seven. So again, embrace the knowledge. The seven is heaven touching earth. And when you see this seven, this is not a time to engage in the emotional, egoic story, because that's ultimately more painful to you. This is an opportunity for you to make a choice. And when you have too much choice, I've often called this card the spoiled for choice card. When there's too much there in front of you, you have to narrow it down. So the suggestion with the Seven of Cups is to follow your heart. Pick two things and follow your heart. Do a process of elimination for what you feel is less inclined to be of service to you, to what is more inclined to be of service to you. Narrow it down to two and continue to follow your heart with it there. Okay, the cards are giving you some homework, Libra. Your next row is your happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment within April, as influenced by these two rows and what energy is shifting and changing to accommodate your happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment. First card, Bonefire Tarot, Five of Coins. Yeah, this is the traditionally called the leaving yourself out in the cold card. I have a different feeling on this card. You know, this person sits out on this cold, icy step. There is a sanctuary of comfort within, and that's just what we're talking about up here in your top row, right? You could go in. There's something about this, though, that doesn't feel quite right, and it means that there's a compromise you may not be willing to make to accept entry into that sanctuary. So there's a sacrifice here, and the feeling is you're sitting on that step because you've sacrificed plenty and you don't want to settle for less. So that's going to have you challenging your belief system in some way. And there's an essence of conformity on this card. So to enter the sanctuary, you have to conform in some way, and it feels uncomfortable. It's like putting on shoes that don't fit. They're too small or they're too big. You can't walk in them. And then the sacrifice you make is, you know, sore muscles, sore feet, so on, right? So you sit out there on the step because you're not going to settle for something that doesn't fit you. This is excellent work. Keep doing that. Keep questioning this. This card invites you to ask, what have I not considered? What requires my attention so that I can shift my intention? Magician. Okay, next card, the Hermit. Yes, illumination comes from this because the core message on the Hermit is a quest beckons. You've already answered that, and your chariot is poised to go. You might not necessarily be on board the chariot at just this moment, but you're on approach, Seven of Pentacles. And you have illumination, you have enlightenment, and you're going to follow that enlightenment, and you're not going to settle for anything less than following that enlightenment. So here again is more encouragement for you to hang in there. Don't stop now. I also want to draw your attention. There's a big fireplace in there. You could warm yourself right next to that. But there's a better fire right here in your heart space. That's why you're out on the step, because this means everything to you. It's your King of Wands right there in your heart. All right, coming with, yeah, Ace of Swords. Beautiful. Look at this. So now we did it in two suits. We ran from the 10 of Swords to the Ace of Swords. We did the 10 of Wands to the Ace of Wands. Divine clarity, everlasting strength, a divine and cosmic gift of brilliant clarity even. And that's, again, why you're out on this step, because you're not going to settle for anything less. And the universe is delivering, because there you are working it like the magician that you are over there. Don't lose faith. Six of Coins, beautiful card. This is such a card of balance and harmony, and that's speaking your language, Libra. This is a card of celebrating the spirit of generosity and reciprocity. The scales balance. They come even for you, where what you give out, you receive. And, you know, it's the giving that feels so, so good. The feeling is, though, with your 10 of Wands and your 10 of Swords, you've given to a void for a long time, and you're balancing the scales there, because the spirit of generosity, reciprocity is where it's at for you. You know, on the 5 here, you can see where you've given to a void within your own self, listening to the ego story, 7 of Cups, and a void where you've given in other relationships and connections that just have not reciprocated. And that's a drain, and you're coming out of that. It's why it feels so uncomfortable over here on the 5. But you are going in the right direction for your own self, and it's beautiful. This is a lovely card, and it's a great card to end the reading on, because this is a place where you can go within your own self in meditation and balance the scales within you, and the scales will balance all around you as a result of that. There's your reading, Libra. Happy April. Thank you so much for watching. Again, do watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus videos. Check out the daily messages, of course, and have a beautiful month. Peace, love, joy, blessings, happiness. Namaste. Bye for now.